It's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Embark's founder and CEO, Mr. Ryan Boyko. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you, John.
All right. Ryan Boyko founded Embark after a decade working to tackle tough questions in public health, ecology, and industry using novel analytical approaches. Among many field studies Ryan has done, he's traveled to over 40 countries around the world, collecting canine DNA samples and contributing to numerous scientific studies, including one focused on the origin of dogs. Embark was founded to bring the critical insights obtained from this research to dog owners and to unlock the potential of big data to improve the lives of dogs and humans the world over. He's passionate about making a difference in the world, and every day he lives Embark's mission to end preventable disease in dogs. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ryan Boyko.
All right. Thank you, John. And welcome everyone to the first Canine Health Summit brought to you by Embark. Before I kick us off, I did want to take a moment to thank the Westminster Kennel Club, the Morris Animal Foundation, all of our speakers and panelists, and the hundreds of dog breeders, veterinarians, and enthusiasts who helped put this together and who have shared the word with others interested in improving dog health. It's amazing, we've got over 4,000 people signed up to attend this summit, which I think makes it the largest such summit. I'd also like to thank the great Embark team members who have put a lot of work into creating what I expect to be a great experience for all of the attendees. And finally, I'd like to thank the thousands of you who are attending the summit, who are dedicated to creating the best future for all dogs. Sorry. Whether you breed dogs with dreams that they'll become sport champions, Westminster Show champions, or great companions, one thing that unites dog breeders is a desire for their dogs to be healthy. And it's not just dog breeders. 90% of dog owners say that preventive care is very important to them. Veterinarians also see preventive health as crucial. And yet, there have been no major dog health conferences focused on bringing together breeders of all levels with veterinarians and the research community so that they can learn best breeding practices and learn from the scientists at the leading edge. And the scientists and veterinarians can learn from breeders. Breeders know better than anyone else what their breed's needs are, what upcoming issues are in the breed, and how they can take those latest advances and apply them to their programs. So this is our attempt to bring all of those groups together in a way that isn't being done so far. The most remarkable thing about all of that is that breeders really hold the key to the ultimate in preventive dog health. In fact, the best way to prevent a disease is to breed dogs who aren't likely to get it. In some cases, like with HUU, it can cost thousands of dollars to treat a condition which may have been prevented through health-aware breeding practices. In many other cases, the only known way to prevent a disease shortening a dog's life is through breeding dogs that don't have known risk alleles for it. And breeders, again, are not just the recipients of new knowledge. Breeders are uniquely knowledgeable about their breed and about their lines. By engaging a wide variety of breeders throughout the scientific process, citizen scientists can help academic scientists target their research, refine their hypotheses, and make actionable discoveries years faster than otherwise. So that's why Embark is bringing together breeders, the people closest to their breeds, and canine researchers and veterinarians who have the tools of the most recent scientific advances together in this first annual Canine Health Summit. We hope it advances our citizen science model to have all the stakeholders in dog health collaborate at every stage of the research and innovation process. I hope you find value from the summit. You start conversations with leaders in other breeds and in other disciplines. Admittedly, that's harder in the digital environment that we have right now. But we also hope that this is a starting point, and you can give us feedback about what you get the most out of in this summit so that we can make future years, when hopefully at least some of us will be able to gather in person, even better. I do want to take a moment here to acknowledge all of the great work that thousands of breeders, scientists, and veterinarians have done and are doing. We could not be building this collaborative research model at this conference and in our everyday work at Embark without you, without people like those leading the Canine Health Foundation, those at the Morris Animal Foundation, and many, many other researchers, breeders who care deeply about advancing the health of their breed, and others that have gotten us to the point we're at today. In fact, the genes behind more genetic diseases are known in dogs than in any other non-human animal. What we see now is that the pace of discovery in dog health, genetic and otherwise, is increasing and quickly. At the same time, more and more breeders are interested in adopting the most recent advances into their breeding programs. So our goal for this summit and for Embark's broader research and education efforts is to take collaboration between breeders, researchers, and scientists to a bigger and more immediate scale than has previously happened, to allow the broadest group of breeders possible to participate in an annual summit reflecting the fast pace of development. This summit is also part of Embark's core mission to use the tools of science and technology to improve dogs' life. That is why I founded Embark 6 years ago, and why close to 100 people, including over a dozen PhD scientists and DVMs, work at Embark today. We built our company from the inside out on research and collaboration with the breeders, owners, and veterinarians who use our services. At the heart of each test we run is a research-grade DNA genotyping platform, the same kind used by canine researchers worldwide. Using that, each customer's DNA sample can contribute to the next generation of research and to new discoveries. Our customers love this citizen science approach. Well over 90% of them choose to contribute to this research, and they have also provided millions of data points on their dog's health, traits, and behavior, which our scientists and their collaborators can use to make new discoveries. For those of you who have been following Embark for a while now, you may have guessed that the blue-eyed beauty on this slide wasn't chosen by accident. Our first discovery as a company was in fact the gene responsible for giving some huskies and husky mixes and related breeds those beautiful blue eyes. There we go. That research was done using 6,500 customer dogs' data. Still to this day, that's the largest number of dogs used to make a published genetic discovery, to my knowledge. Compare that to the several databases with more than 1 million people's genetic information, and you'll see that there is so much more room to discover more as we grow our database and our collaborative research model. We started our research focused on traits because those generally require fewer dogs to make discoveries. You usually know a dog's appearance by the time they're a few months old, and interesting traits are often shared by a large number of dogs. For many health conditions, they impact only a smaller number of dogs, and it may take many years to know that they became affected. 6,500 dogs recruited from the general population just isn't enough to make advances in areas like cancer and joint issues that impact so many dogs so deeply. Fortunately, we now have a database of over 500,000 dogs contributing to Embark research, and a substantial number of them provide ongoing information about their dog's health, behavior, and traits. So I want to give you a preview of one area where we just made are about to actually publish a discovery, but a new discovery that's not currently published. So this one was a little bit harder to make than Blue Eyes, but it's not as hard as many of the complex behaviors and health conditions that we see ourselves being able to work on into the future. So this guy here is named Bogey. Bogey was adopted from a shelter in 2016, and his new family decided to use Embark to learn more about him. It turned out that Bogey has 100% Australian cattle dog ancestry. His owners were every bit as shocked to find that out as you probably are, and as we were. In fact, we certainly heard from them that they really did not believe it at first. But let's fast forward the story a bit. Australian cattle dogs have just under a 1% frequency of the allele that causes an unroaned phenotype like this when you have two copies of that gene. That means that about 1 in every 10,000 to 20,000 Australian cattle dogs should be born unroaned, just like Bogey here. This is actually a really great example of how getting purebred dogs and working closely with the breeder community, and also mixed breed dogs and working with the pet owner community, can come together to power research faster and further than you could by only engaging one of those groups. We started out, as we were interested in roaning, by comparing the genes of roaned and closely related unroaned breeds. And using that, it's possible to narrow down where the roaning gene is to just a few places in the genome. But because these breeds share, within the breed, they share so many of the same genotypes, it's impossible to do using that to narrow it down to just a single causative gene. What we were able to do is use a variety of Australian cattle dog and other roan breed mixes, who then only share some of their genome, only derive some of it from these roan breeds. And we could further narrow it down until we had found the gene that we thought was responsible for the roaning phenotype. When we looked through a database, it turned out we had exactly one dog who had 100% Australian cattle dog ancestry and 0 copies of the allele that causes roaning. And that dog was Bogey here. So armed with that information, we gained a lot more confidence that we had found the actual causative gene. We're able to do more to prove that out further. And also, by the way, Bogey's parents are now thrilled at understanding the unique genetics and history that went into their dog, or perhaps panda, depending on your perspective. That is really at its heart what Embark is about. We have brought people from the research community, from the veterinary community into the company, and we collaborate with many outside of the company. But what really powers what we're doing are the breeders, the pet owners, the veterinarians who work with us, who are our customers, and who are also sharing their own experiences with their dog with us. We provide the newest information that we can, the best information and tools we can to our customers, and ask them to come and be a partner in building the future of dog health. We think that as we do that, we'll be able to not just gradually increase the pace of discovery, but we'll be able to increase it to the point of it being maybe 10 times faster, but certainly a lot faster. Switching gears now, we have some really great content planned for this summit. We have a great speaker lineup with expertise across a wide variety of subjects of interest to both breeders and dog enthusiasts. So while we do have a lot of genetics content, we also have non-genetics content as well. Dog health is certainly bigger than just their genes. We encourage you in the audience to participate as much as possible as well. That's why we call it a summit, is because we see it as bringing together this entire community. We're providing you with several ways to do so. One of the most immediate is asking questions during panels, which you can use the chat box to do. You can answer polls. There'll be several polls asked each day of the conference that help the speakers and the community generally understand where breeders mostly, where their minds are at, what they're interested in. And we also encourage you to follow up with any speakers that are of particular interest to you. Hopefully next year, we'll be able to provide even more opportunities for engagement. I'd also like to thank Westminster again for helping us spread the word and for their participation. Several research groups and breed groups that we collaborate with have also helped spread the word, and in some cases provide panelists and speakers to this conference. If you are a breed club representative or a researcher and you're interested in how you might collaborate with Embark, please do reach out to us. You can email us at breeders@embarkvet.com or provide one of the other tools that will be provided in some of the emails that we send. There is one other way that I wanted to highlight that you can participate, and that is participating in our Morris Animal Foundation fundraiser. So Embark has, or we've decided to match up to $5,000 in donations that are made during this conference. In fact, we're already at above $2,000 of donations. One of my colleagues is going to share a link with you so that you can go and find out, go there to donate if you would like to. And I also wanted to share this video about it.
Life just wouldn't be the same without dogs. That's why, since 1948, Morris Animal Foundation has invested more than $48 million in more than 1,600 canine health studies. You may have heard about our Golden Retriever Lifetime Study, one of the largest canine health studies in the U.S. aimed at identifying risk factors for cancer and other diseases in dogs. But we funded plenty of other breed-specific studies, like one for Newfoundlands, which led to the development of a new commercial genetic test for subvalvular stenosis, a very common congenital heart defect. Another project looked at an oral drug to prevent post-operative bleeding in greyhounds. For Dalmatians, we supported a study that looked for causes of chronic kidney disease. And we just closed a call for proposals to tackle canine perianal fistulas in German Shepherds. You can help fund studies like these to give dogs the longest, healthiest lives possible. Donate now to support Morris Animal Foundation's work at maf.link/embark-MAF.